What's good? What's good? We back. Triple P Paul Pickett podcast. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz and New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. Before we get started, got my bottle, my Dizzle for shizzle. Y'all can see it, the Dizzle. And I'm about to get my taste test in. You know, I ain't a big drinker, but we got. My man said I gotta have a little bit of lemon too. Gotta have ice. I got ice in my cup. We got the Paul Pickett podcast mug right here for a little bit. I ain't a big drinker, so a little bit of lemon. Alright. Whew. Ooh. I tell you what, it's got a kick. Oh man. Whew. It's right here. It's supposed to be cognac, agave tequila, orange liquor, mango mix, and crisp lemon. I don't know if there's lemon already in it. Of course, I put lemon on it. And I'll tell you what, this has a kick. This has a kick. Cognac and tequila. Well, I don't know if I have cognac and tequila before. I'm usually a Paul Masson drinker. Let's go slow on that. Whew. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's definitely got a little bit of citrusy flavor to it. Um, yeah, this is going to go well. Um, Definitely, like I probably recommend going with the recipes. If you're a light drinker like me, you probably don't want to drink this too much straight up. Whew. I can taste a little bit of that mango in there. I definitely taste the mango. I don't know if I put enough lemon in, but yes. Okay, well, let's get into the podcast now. For Shizzle, check out the Dizzle, dizzlebrand.com. Um, got a little bit left in this cup. I'm gonna sip the rest of it before this podcast is over. Got my water. Hit that click now, subscribe button. Hit that like, follow, reshare. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. All right, first I'm gonna get into something. Some NBA trade. Lauri Markkanen. He got traded. Let me pull up the details real quick right here. Don't forget the audio version of my podcast goes to Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Odyssey, Castbox, Deezer, iHeartPlayer FM, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Stitcher, TuneIn, and more. The video version goes to Instagram, TV, Facebook fan pages, because I have several Facebook fan pages, but of course the Facebook fan page for Paul Pickett Podcast. It goes to Twitter, Instagram, Paul Pickett Podcast, as well as YouTube. So let's pull it up. And also, Rondo was getting bought out by the Grizzlies, and look for him to re-sign with the Lakers. That's what reports are saying. Rondo to re-sign with the Lakers. We got the Cavs land market in the three-team deal. So Lauri Markkanen is dealt to the Cavs in a three-team deal, basically. The Cavs get Lauri Markkanen, and Portland sent Derrick Jones Jr. to Chicago, who actually just signed with Portland last year, and Portland gets Larry Nance Jr. from the Cavs, and there's also some picks. So Lauri Markkanen from the Bulls to the Cavs, Larry Nance from the Cavs to the Blazers, and Derrick Jones went from the Blazers to the Bulls. Now, let's talk about Portland for a second. Portland, like, they needed to do something, right? I mean, where is Portland really, really lacking at? Forward positions. They got a backcourt. They got their backcourt. It's their forward positions they lacking. So I don't know. I mean, Larry Nance Jr. I don't know that he's gonna be much of a difference maker for Portland. I don't know that stops Damian Lillard from leaving. I mean, he's all in it right now, but you know, and for Cleveland, Laurie Marketing is just another young piece to put with. So you got Laurie Marketing, Evelyn Mobley. They got Colin Sexton, and I think the other one is Darius Garland. I think his name is. So I mean, I don't know what Cleveland's really their plans are. I mean, this doesn't get them nowhere into the playoffs unless Evan Mobley really, really just produces right away. Colin Sexton, I like Colin Sexton. He balling out, but he can't be your number one guy. Colin Sexton probably needs to be your number two or number three guy. You know, but yeah, three-way trade, and Lloyd Marketing was looking for a deal anyways, and he was kind of with DeRozan and Ball getting picked up by the Bulls. You know, and they got Caruso with the Bulls too. So the Bulls are going to be interesting this year. They're definitely going to be interesting to see. And Rondo possibly to the Lakers. We'll see how that goes. Rondo to the Lakers. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much for that for NBA. We get a couple of topics I got. I always write these little topics. Um, OnlyFans went back on their decision because definitely they took a lot of heat, a lot of backlash from only like sex workers on OnlyFans. I mean, OnlyFans got rich off of that content, and then all of a sudden they want to push it out, and they want to let credit card companies try to play the bully and stuff like that. Like you just need to find another form of payment process if that's the case. You know, if you're OnlyFans, whew, wow, boy, why can't you just create your own? You can taste that mango in there. You can really taste that mango. It really starts to kick in. Like I do taste that mango from this Dizzle. So yeah, OnlyFans. I mean, it's your number one content. Like I would never like if somebody just said, "Oh, you can't sell your number one service no more because you can't use this credit card processor, this payment processor." I would find another payment processor. I would just do all that I can to find another payment processor. You can't just give up your number one source of income, just because somebody says so. You just can't do that. And that's not a smart business move. And I thought the problem was that there was underage people on there subscribing and doing content and people being forced. But apparently that's not what the issue totally is. Apparently that's not the total issue. So yeah, OnlyFans is backtracking. Also, they know a lot of people. There's a lot of people that probably just left. They said, screw OnlyFans. We're going to this other platform because there's other platforms as well, and just made their fan base move to the other. They probably just started like losing all types of people, anyways, and they just had to stop the whole fallout. You know what I'm saying? Altogether, because what they thought was people were just going to just, like accept the decision and just only upload content that meets the terms of service. Well, that ain't what these people that on OnlyFans is thinking. They're thinking like, well, damn, if you like screw us, we'll screw you. We're going to a whole nother platform. And a lot of these people that already got, if they got a strong, loyal following and fan base, they'll be able to do that easily. Because like I always say when I do my vlogs, fan base dictates everything. Consumer base dictates everything. So OnlyFans, they're probably gonna lose money regardless because of this. Because people are probably just gonna say, "Yo, screw this. I'm going to these other platforms, anyways." Even though that OnlyFans is backtrack, because even though they're backtrack, who's to say that the credit card companies or something else, like something doesn't come up where OnlyFans is forced to, remove all adult content. Period. Who knows? They might. That's the thing. If there's any people like underage subscribers or people underage making content or people that are being forced to make content, OnlyFans will get in trouble for that. They will get legal issues for that. They will have problems with that. Another sports thing I want to get into: Jackson Hayes video research or surface, not resurface. Jackson Hayes video surface, and people was like, the video surfaced him get tased. We already knew he got tased. Let first of all, I'm a, people automatically just hear, police incidents, and they don't take no content, no text into the content, content into text. Excuse me, no content in text, no details. Like you gotta, okay, first of all, Jackson Hayes is like 7'2". He's not the size of an average male. He's 7'2". So there's no one cop probably. There's probably not one cop on the planet that could wrestle down Jackson Hayes by himself. I've seen the video. Jackson Hayes clearly, like, he was in the wrong. Like when cops tell you 2 times to stop, twice to stop, you're not getting a third time, man. You're not getting a third time. I don't get nobody 3 strikes in this world. They ain't no. You don't get 3 strikes in this world. You get two strikes and you're already pushing it. So in the video, the cops clearly tell him don't go in the house because clearly when a woman or calls for domestic dispute, they don't need a warrant, and they have to hear it from the woman's mouth. From the woman's mouth. Like they say, you got to hear from the horse's mouth. You got to hear from the woman's mouth that she's okay. The man sitting there saying, "Oh, she's okay," doesn't work. Doesn't work. It isn't justifiable. It isn't the same thing as the woman saying, "Oh, I'm good to go. We're good to go." You got to hear it when somebody calls, when a female calls about a domestic dispute. You got to hear from the female that called, or the female that was being threatened, that she's okay. And I understand that every time. You got to hear it from her mouth, not nobody else's. We don't need Jackson Hayes' word. And also, Jackson Hayes, the same Jackson Hayes that told the NBA to suck his DICK because he didn't get picked for the Rising Stars. That same Jackson Hayes, And yet, when a guy is 7'2", it's not like cops are trained every day to bring out 7'2" people. He's 7'2". It's going to take two to three people to bring him down. And with the Jackson Hayes, they're going to try to say, "Oh, the cop put his knee on his neck." Yeah, they're trying to probably prevent cops from putting knees on necks. And when the cop put the knee on the neck, the other cop said, "Yo, get your knee up, get your knee up." You know what I'm saying? Because Jackson Hayes said he couldn't start breathing. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. Because he was already... Jackson Hayes apparently has no respect for the people he works for. He has no respect for authority. No, Jackson Hayes has no respect for nobody. Period. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, when you're 7'2", the cops clearly... You push the cop against the wall. Like, what do you think? When you push a cop, what are you thinking, man? I mean, I hate to say you're asking for it, but you're asking for it. You don't push cops, man. You just don't push cops. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if you push a cop, things can go extremely bad. And I can tell you, that ain't the Dizzle talking. That ain't the Dizzle talking. If you push a cop, things can go extremely bad. Yeah, you probably gonna get hit with a nightstick, or yeah, you probably gonna get tased. You probably gonna get kicked. Like, I don't get it, man. We know that you ain't supposed to put your hands on cops. If you put your hand, if you assault a civilian, it's not you'll get in more trouble, like time wise, assaulting a cop than you will a civilian. You know. But yeah, the video come out. They're gonna try to say the cops are racist. Of course, he resisted. And one thing he said in there, you need a warrant. No, they don't need a warrant when it's a domestic. When a woman is caught in a domestic dispute about, and a woman calls, they got to hear it from the woman's mouth. They don't need a warrant to hear it from the woman's mouth. And if she's inside, then they have the right to go inside to hear it from the woman's mouth, whether it's your house or not. Domestic dispute, man. The best thing you could do in a domestic dispute is just cooperate with the cops. First of all, domestic disputes, they already know, like, angry woman, angry man. Things could go wrong. That's when people get stabbed and killed in relationships. They're domestic dispute. Most dudes are killing women during domestic disputes, and most women are stabbing a man during domestic disputes. That's fact. So, and I know if I was a cop and it's a domestic dispute, I already know, like, all right, well, we gotta be a little cautious. You know, you never know what could go wrong with a domestic dispute. Things can go wrong in a split second, and anybody that thinks it can't go wrong in a split second, fairy tales, imaginary, bogus, made up mind state. They don't live in the real world. They live in fairy tales. In the real world, domestic disputes could go bad just like that. Snap of the fingers. Snap of the fingers, it could go bad. Somebody could pull out a knife and stab somebody. All right, enough with that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this Jordan Lucas video getting removed. Like, I'm going down a slippery slope, man. They're trying to eliminate our freedom of expression, eliminate our freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of view, freedom of anything. When you start removing a music video, that basically, the music video is basically a video depicting what kids are already being taught on TV and through music videos today. Jordan Lucas is doing all these negative things, teaching these kids to do these bad things in this video. But the whole message is, this is what they are being taught anyways. This is what they're being taught. So this is the problem. This is what I've started to realize. The only thing they're trying to censor in this world, the only content they are trying to censor in this world is the truth. The truth. Facts. Like when I sit there and tell you about my personal experience, I have not been sick since last time when I got hit by a car and I had to stay with Mom Dukes because my leg was broken, my foot was broken, and my shoulder was dislocated. So I had to stay with Mom Dukes, right? 6 months. Last time I was sick. That was the last time I was sick. So I've been at this apartment for literally about to be going on 3 years. Not been sick one time since I lived in this apartment. Not the common cold, not the flu, not bronchitis, nothing. Sinuses, yeah. But this is the pollen state. Everybody's got sinus problems. So why have I not been sick in 2.5, 3 years? Because I work alone and I live alone. I work alone and I live alone. Work alone and live alone. So what does that tell you? I go to the grocery store and the convenience store all the time, more than most people. No mask, no vaccine, more than most people. Not sick once. Because you can't get sick at the grocery store for a couple minutes or the convenience store for a couple minutes. You get sick when you're around people for hours at a time. Hours at a time. And where's the two places you're around people for hours at a time? Work and home. Work and home. Work and home. Work and home. They don't take a rocket scientist or a lying Dr. Fauci to figure that out. So yeah, we're going down a slippery slope because all y'all trying to do is y'all trying to censor the truth. Joiners speaking the truth, speaking facts, and you trying to censor them. That's all y'all trying to do. It's the left trying to censor the truth from the right. And I ain't saying the right always telling the truth, but it's these leftist Democrats that anytime they hear the truth, they get sensitive. And anytime they hear facts, they get sensitive. You know, and I'm not, and this is the thing. Some facts can be changed, and some facts of life can't. Some facts of life can be changed, and some facts of life can't. Let me get into my last little take, man. Talk about this Hurricane Ida thing, man. Like New Orleans, man. Like I don't know why anybody would want to live in New Orleans. It is a complete risk every single year. I mean, it seems like these hurricanes hit New Orleans more than anything. I mean, we have them go up the East Coast. They go through North Carolina, South Carolina, and they do some damage. But I don't know that they're doing as much damage as these hurricanes that hit New Orleans. They seem to flood out New Orleans like crazy. I mean, trees just. Now I remember one hurricane, like a tree next door fell on a carport. Tree next door to that fell through the house. You know, and that happens. I mean, that can happen everywhere, but we don't get flooded. They get super flooded in New Orleans, and they got trees and everything just falling everywhere. Debris falling off, roofs falling off. Almost whatnot. Like it's almost not worth living in New Orleans. Like you gotta have insurance. If you ain't got insurance living in New Orleans, what's the reason to live in New Orleans? You can't give me a good reason to live in New Orleans if you ain't got insurance. You know, and I feel sorry for the people out there that ain't got no electricity. You know, hopefully we don't get none of these hurricanes. Like I've had before, we've had these hurricanes where we get crazy days out of no electricity. Trust me, they're no fun, especially at night. During the day, it's not so bad, but at night, it's really no fun, you know. But yeah, I don't know why anybody would want to live in New Orleans, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, and I wish everybody the best in New Orleans. I hope they get through it. Um, time. It seems like they just go through hard times every year. New Orleans is just the like the center of our times, man, in America, man. Just because of the hurricanes, you know? And it used to be murder capital. Used to be murder capital. Let's not forget that. It used to be murder capital. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Whew, I tell you what, I just had a little bit of this. I mean, a little bit of this Dizzle. I know I ain't a big drinker at all, but this got me buzzing. You could definitely taste that mango. Matter of fact, I can smell the mango. I can smell the mango in it. I can taste the mango. It's definitely got a kick. It's definitely probably something you want to go ahead and just mix with all the recipes that they got on dizzlebrand.com. Check them out. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Don't forget this podcast is also sponsored by Promo Palace LLC and promopalace.biz for your online marketing promotions. For music or your brand, go to promopalace.biz. If you're a dog lover, a cat lover, animal rights activist, please go to New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. We got t-shirts, hoodies, and we got apparel for your dogs as well. Don't forget to hit that click now subscribe button in that right hand corner. Hit the follow if you're on Instagram or Facebook. Also hit the follow if you're watching or if you're just listening to the audio version, which goes to Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Odyssey, Castbox, Deezer, iHeartPlayer FM, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Stitcher, TuneIn, and more. Don't forget, be on the lookout for Dizzle coming soon. That's the Dizzle. Mixture of cognac, agave tequila, orange liquor, mango mix, and crisp lemon. Of course, I squeeze a little bit of my own lemon over there, like my man Chris Roker told me. And you can definitely smell and taste the the mango in there. But I would not recommend drinking too much of this before you do the podcast, because if you're 5'4" lightweight like me, 150 pounds, you might screw up the whole podcast. But if you're an actual pro like me, who's been doing this for years, you know, you'll be just fine. You know. But once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Triple P, Paul Pickett Podcast. I am your host, Paul Pickett, aka the Common Sense Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, check us out. promopals.biz, newletter.com, and dizzlebrand.com. Peace, and I'm out.